Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Two Grown Men. As usual, Yami in the studio.
Hi, everyone. My name is Olaomi.
One of the things I always say is that I will never forgive my father's generation because they're the ones that put us in this situation. They are the ones that used to, for lack of a better word, treat our mothers like crap. They are the ones that would say, "No, I'm the one that has the money. You go and do this." They will do all those things, while at the same time raising daughters who saw what they were doing to their mothers. And these are the same daughters that we had to marry. So now the daughters are like, "No, bro, I saw what my father did to my mother. There is no way you're going to do that to me. So now I have to adjust to the way they treated their mothers, and they treated those people in the previous generations." I use a typical example, and I'll stop here. Has anybody seen the Notorious B.I.G. movie?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember the scene where? Okay. Do you remember the scene where the Notorious B.I.G. character was holding his daughter on his lap? He had just had the accident. His daughter was on his lap, and he was talking to Lil Kim's character on the phone.
I think so. I remember.
They get into an argument, and he yells at her and he says, "You bitch, get off my phone, bitch!" And he hangs up the phone.
And his daughter was in his leg.
He looks at his daughter and he says to his daughter, "Don't ever let a man call you a bitch." And I thought,
immediately afterwards.
Immediately after, and I thought, wait a minute. Is the Lil Kim's character not somebody else's daughter as well? So it's okay for you to call somebody else's daughter the B word, the bitch, but you are training your daughter not to accept that. So I'm saying, that's why I say I cannot forgive that generation, because they trained their daughters to not accept things that they did to their mothers, to their wives, not realizing that the consequence of that is that those ladies, when they grow up, are not going to accept that kind of same ish from the sons. And the sons have to now figure out how to navigate the new societal norms, which is where we are today. I've talked for a good 40 minutes. I'll keep quiet now and let it move on. So I told you I was going to take you to a different dimension. I'm just going
to push back a little bit. And the pushback I have is very simple. Everybody says that about the previous generation. Our children are going to say about us. You are not giving us any Einstein moments here, bro.
You don't think so?
Friend. Wait, just hold on. I have a friend who set up a WhatsApp group for his children. Him, his wife, and 3 children. Only him and his wife talk on that WhatsApp. He sends messages. They live in the same house. And he literally goes to call his son. "Did you not see the message I sent you on the group?" And the son said, "Which group?" Why am I saying this? We're 2 grown men. In fact, today we're 4 grown men.
4 grown men.
A lot of people I know in the early 20s are already saying Egbon and Ileba Nigeria. They're not even saying that about people in their 60s. Now me knows what I'm talking about now. Boys, they are late teens. Go and listen to people on social media. They are looking at us, that is us, the uncles, as they call us. So this thing you are saying, I don't disagree about our parents, about our fathers, but I'm saying even our own parents, if you ask them, they will tell you that their own fathers married 3 wives and 4 wives. They did better than them by marrying one. Now,
interesting.
What we said, I'm just trying to, because we want to take this conversation in different directions so that we can all learn. And guys, if you're new to our channel, please subscribe to 2 Grown Men. Ade will put Ade's Instagram handle and Okwe's Instagram handle as well, or any other social media platform, so you can follow them. Back to what I was saying. So I think, in fact, I know that every generation always says this about the previous generation. Our own generation, I'm curious to see what they're going to say about us in 20 years' time. You know why I say so? Because our generation and the generation that is coming after us have one unique thing that didn't happen between our parents and us. We are in the digital information era. Everybody has the same information globally at the same time. There is no, I'm in America, so I have access to Harvard Law Library, I have access to Cambridge Law Library. No, everything's online. Whatever you can get online, you can pay a small subscription and you can access articles from the 20s, 30s, 18th century and read it off their websites. There's YouTube, like where you guys are watching. So everybody has access to the same information. And where we have done better, or where we are doing better in different aspects, there will still be some things that we think we're doing so well that the new generation will think, nah, those eggbons are not doing it the right way. We know better until it gets to their turn. But what I like to say about our parents' generation is whatever we can take from them that is good, we hold the good. The things that are bad from their generation, we spit it out. That's my take on what you just said. Okay, what's your take?
He's shying away from the whole argument. He doesn't want to talk about it. Madam is probably in the background saying, if you say anything there, I will.
Okay, doesn't want to talk about man woman, but we're talking about something else now.
I have my reservations for the crap that happened in the Senate.
Right.
Nasty attitudes from both parties.
Yep.
Very, very, very low life attitude. Very condescending. Very, very
disrespectful. Yeah.
Disrespectful to the economy, to the country itself as a whole. Very degrading mindsets that rule us. Where you should think the people that sit in that place have the best of mind and will portray the best of attitudes. But you will see the nonsense they are displaying. It's a shame to have this platform to talk about that thing.
These are the people that represent you.
Say it again.
These are the people that represent you.
Do you understand?
And the constituents.
And it's a shame. I'm sorry, I'll pick both of them one by each if you want me to talk about it. This thing is the nonsense that goes on in between that we don't see. And it came to fall without decorum. I will first blame Natasha because she did not apply wisdom. She lacks it. On all forms till current day, she did not display wisdom. She did not use her power as a woman. Rather, she's using emotional power, which further is draining her of wisdom. To the eyes of the world, all that you were told to do was change your seat.
Yeah.
To the eyes of the world. And the next thing you did was pa. Now, pepper you dey sell for streets. Which kind of matter be this? Which kind of attitude is this? Now, that tells you there's something that has happened behind to create that rage. That tells you, okay, what has happened? Because it's simple. Change your seat. Can you move seat? Do they move seats? Yes. Did they tell people to change seats? Yes. Okay. It became das goes. Fair enough. No problem. And the next thing we are hearing from you, talk to the situation or what has happened, you are saying he harassed you sexually. Oh my God. That is pure manipulation. Which most women do.
No, unless it's true.
Unless it's true.
No. You said it's pure manipulation. I said unless it's true. There's no way to know whether or not. There's no way. No, wait. There's no way to know whether or not he actually did sexually harass her. There's no way to know that.
Let me say this here. Let me say why I said that. It's simple. Like I started with, to the eyes of the world, you were told to change your seats.
Yes.
To the eyes of the world, you raged at changing your seats. Outside that platform, going to newsrooms and wherever you had your voice heard, the next thing we are hearing is sexual allegations. Not the topic that led to the rage we saw.
Can I ask a quick question here? Go ahead, is it possible that the change of seat was as a result of her or her rebuffing the sexual allegations in the sexual proofs in the first place? Is it possible?
You heard me say that she threw wisdom out of the door when I started.
I'm listening.
When you should have used wisdom will tell you, okay, this guy wants to show power. I will catch you. I'm a woman. And you do what? Sit down, change your seat, then begin to plot your move. I will show you. When they do like this for you, do you know what that means? You want to go funny? No problem. Oh, Yoruba will say, oh. When a Yoruba man tells you, oh, forget it, you're done.
So allow me, next time you tell me, oh, that means I'm in trouble.
Babe.
Honestly.
Wow. Okay. Oh. I'll never get you the point where you say, oh, to me. Oh.
When a Yoruba man tells you, yes, please.
So this thing you said is the same thing Senator Gonawe said in Arise. He said he talked about a political naivety, and he did say that while there's a certain blame on the Senate, he didn't say for sure he knew whether she was informed before that day that her seat was going to be changed. But he did mention that changing seats was a regular occurrence in the Senate, and he gave the reasons why that happens. Sometimes it's because somebody has decamped. So if somebody is sitting next to you decamps, they can't allow you to be sitting with somebody from an opposition party. Yeah, and then sometimes also maybe you become a chairman of a committee, so your sitting arrangement has to be very strategic so that you can see the Senate President and you can gain his attention. So I mean, it happens here as well. Theresa May is not sitting in the front bench anymore, even though she was a former prime minister. She's gone back. So worldwide it happens. But he did say something that what she could have done if she had more political wisdom,
more lakai.
She could have gone to her seat, right seat, still quoted that order 10, and the Senate President would have been compelled to hear whatever she had to say, and possibly this thing wouldn't have escalated to where it went to. But for me, just like you said, it wasn't just a seat. I think it was a chain reaction of events. Because remember what she said? She said this stuff in question happened in 2023, if I remember. Was it 2024? No, 2023. She said it happened in 2023 or 2024? 2023. So it happened like over a year ago, the series of events. Well, so things must have happened after that in the Senate, between both of them, probably private and off Senate matters. And then that day, that thing now escalated because, like you said, her reaction, the rage, like you said, seemed to be more than just a sitting arrangement, such that a few people were trying to get her to calm down. And yes, she could have, I'm not saying she has to go through the same path that Akpabio himself did to Bukola Saraki, because they're different people, different temperaments, different mindsets, and different sets of circumstances. So I'm not going to say that she has to do exactly what that person did, but I'm going to say on this podium that I believe that it was more than a changing of seats, and probably also more than a sexual harassment claim. I think there's still more things within the story that is not out there.
A committee, a juicy committee. She was removed from that committee. from what I gathered, she was removed from that committee. She was the chairperson to the committee, and she was no more the chairperson. What has led to her being not the chairperson anymore is between her and maybe the Senate President. Is that the platform to react to what has led them from removing you?
So many layers.
Yeah, I agree. And sorry, allow me before you jump on. That's why I said before. Remember when I said earlier that her personality doesn't strike me as the kind of personality. Again, like I said before, I don't know her from a can of paint. I've never spoken to her before. She probably won't even listen to this podcast. But her personality doesn't strike me as the kind of person who will, like you said, figure out a way to navigate that thing. Her personality, the way I see it, is the kind of personality where if you strike me, I strike you right back. She's like fire for fire.
I don't think she's even that. You know why I said so?
Yes, please.
I said so? Thank you very much. If you were removed from, if that is what caused it, I don't know, allegedly, if I have to use that word here. If that was what caused the rage, you should have been reacting before we heard you do that.
And that's assuming that she didn't.
Exactly. I think we're assuming a lot here.
That's what I'm saying. That's assuming that she didn't. Because I am thinking, as a senator, she would have probably had a conversation with her Senate minority leader. Should have probably had a Senate conversation with her Senate caucus leader to say, hey, look, for instance, she said she has been trying to get the Ajakuta bill or issue discussed on the floor, heard on the floor. And every time it's been struck down. So or not even been brought up. And the one time it was, apparently, the president of the Senate wasn't even on seat.
Was not in session.
Was not in session at the time. So the question now becomes, was there ever an escalation of this issue of her being, quote unquote, neglected to the Senate minority leader, to her caucus leader, to the chief whip, to other people within the Senate who could have intervened on her behalf to say, hey, you are not giving her this opportunity? Maybe that happened, maybe that didn't happen. I don't know. I'm saying.
So Adi?
Yes, please.
I want to add something that you said earlier. I mean, we took the conversation away a little bit to general society.
Right.
There are four female senators in the House out of 109.
Yes.
And the other three, what is your take about them not coming out? I mean, I know Senator Ireti did a little bit of backtracking recently, but when this thing first happened, they didn't support her. And one of the reasons why they didn't support her was two of the senators went on a rise and they said they tried to reach Senator Natasha. And they called her severally, and they even called her husband to try and get to speak to her. This is before the whole thing got out of control. And to your point and Okwe's point about trying to contain, because you know how fire is now. If you don't contain it, it just it just spreads. Yeah. So they're trying to contain it and trying to speak to her, but she didn't return their call. She wasn't interested. She didn't want to hear. So maybe that could have been contained. So I mean, what's your thoughts? And in terms of even moving forward, because none of us know where this is going. We only know where it started. There's still a lot of political games to be played between now and 2027. And for all intents and purposes, 2025 is probably a dull year in the national election. So next year, till end of this year and the whole of 2026 will be hot. Where is this all going? And what changes do you think can arise from this particular case that is going? Do you think there will be changes to the way Nigeria is run, maybe the Senate, to say, okay, the processes of how cases are handled, women should be treated better? Or do you think it's more of a muchness, like, okay, we have suspended you, you have escalated this, we don't care about what happens? I mean, there's a suspension, which I don't agree with. I said it in our first I thought it was harsh.
It's illegal. It's illegal. It's not even harsh.
Yeah.
It's illegal. It's completely illegal.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done it.
I'm not the lawyer, but it's illegal. It's illegal.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
No sense.
They shouldn't have done it that way.
And there's no court of law anywhere in the world that if Senator Akpati Natasha goes to, that will not uphold that. You cannot, as a Senate, as a colleague, because don't forget, senators are colleagues. They are not. You're not. Even the president of the Senate. No, even the president of the Senate is first amongst equals. He's not above all of them.
What you do in that kind of situation is
it's ridiculous.
Is like this. What you do in that kind of situation is a recall to make it all this suspension stuff is just
okay. So let me answer. You asked 3 questions. The first one was with regards to the other female senators and how or why there was no sort of communication between the two of them. Honestly, I cannot speak to that because I don't know. The best I can do is speculate that they tried, like listen to them and say they tried to reach out to her. Maybe she rebuffed them. Maybe she didn't appreciate the angle they wanted to go with, or whatever it is. To me, that is it's a byproduct of something that is not necessarily it's not necessarily relevant in my opinion. Whether or not they're female, they could have been male, and same thing could have happened. So the fact that they're female is irrelevant to me. The second question, which was regards to what happens next, is where does this end? Is where I went at the beginning of this conversation, which is I'm concerned because again, my impression of Senator Natasha Akpoti's personality is the kind that doesn't back down, and if that trend continues, she could end up in a position where she's on the wrong side of the law, in which case it doesn't matter what happened to you, sexual harassment, it doesn't matter what happened to you, suspension. If you're on the wrong side of the law, then you're in trouble from a legal perspective. Sim Fubara, I hate to digress, but Sim Fubara is having that same issue with the State House of Assembly in River State because of what he did there. So I would take a quote from Senator Ogunlewe, which is the previous past presidents of the Senate, the elder statesmen of the Senate, need to call everybody together.
Both parties, yes.
Call everybody together and resolve this thing before it becomes too much of an issue. It's already too much of an issue, but before it even
ridiculous.
It's too embarrassing. It's been 2 weeks now.